Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the Ripple case, the XRP Ripple case, as I call it, because obviously it affects the XRP community. It's a community that I'm involved in. XRP is one of my biggest holdings, so I am trying to understand this case the best that I can, and so I had to dig down and do some research on the summary briefs that were submitted, and had to try to wrap my head around this thing and make sense of it, of what each of them were saying and what each side was arguing, and the implications of the arguments themselves. So I think I got it. I think I understand it. So I'm going to explain it to you guys as I understand it. And I'm going to do the best I can with it. There's a lot of legal stuff in there, but I'm going to try to make it as simple as I can to for everybody to understand without getting into all the legal mumble and jumble and the legal jargon and stuff that goes on. So what the SEC is saying is that they believe that Ripple is a common enterprise, and that they use the common enterprise in order to promote and sell XRP to the investors. And that the common enterprise means that you have Ripple promising the XRP holders something, and in turn the XRP holders also being involved in a common enterprise, and everybody else that buys and sells XRP being involved in the common enterprise of the sale of XRP back and forth. And the way that the SEC has laid their argument out is that they went back and they pulled up years of social media posts, emails, Twitter replies, Facebook replies, anything that XRP or Ripple put out as posts or communication or emails to XRP holders from Ripple or XRP themselves, and they put it into this very neat, very sophisticated argument to say, look, Ripple was promising the XRP community, holders, buyers, sellers, something at the end. They were promising them things. So to keep that simple, Ripple used their marketing campaign to push XRP, and they were saying that the success of Ripple would equal the success of XRP, which ultimately would equal the success of the XRP holders and the people that were buying and selling XRP. Keep that in mind, the people that were buying and selling XRP, because that's a key here that we'll get to in a little bit about a whole nother issue that we have going on, but we'll get there in a minute. And Ripple came back in their argument and said, hold on, wait a minute. Under the blue sky laws, and let me explain to you what the blue sky laws are. The blue sky laws are state laws that governed trading platforms, basically, in each individual state. So each individual state had their own trading laws. And this was before the SEC was created. And when the SEC was created, what the SEC did is they took all the states' case law and made a federal law, which is now SEC law. So Ripple is saying, well, hold on, under the blue sky laws, in order for us to be considered a common enterprise, we must have an investment contract, and this has been settled in the blue sky laws. And in order for us to have an investment contract, something must be promised to the holders, right? So in other words, Ripple must promise the XRP holders certain things. Like if XRP went away, the shareholders would be promised, a buyout or something like that. So there must be a mutual contract amongst the XRP holders and XRP itself. So XRP saying we don't have that mutual contract amongst the XRP holders and the business XRP. So therefore, the common enterprise doesn't exist because that contract doesn't exist. So that's XRP's argument to the judge, that you can't have a common enterprise without an investment contract. And by definition of blue sky law and SEC law, an investment contract must involve a promise, and that promise isn't there. And I heard one guy say it as I was doing my research very well, was, let's say that Ripple decided that they were no longer going to use XRP for payments. They were going to use XLM for payments, and they were going to take XRP and just kind of fold that contract. The XRP holders would in turn get nothing. So therefore, that contract of a promise isn't there. So that really clicked home with me, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I understand it now, that the promise isn't there, so therefore there's no investment contract. So that makes sense to me. Very strong argument by the Ripple team itself. So the one thing that the SEC did not argue was that that Ripple/XRP was a security. So the SEC is not saying that Ripple/XRP is a security. They don't have that in their summary judgment, so therefore they're not saying that it's a security. So I think that's one of the reasons why we all seen the XRP price really pump, was the fact that the SEC didn't actually argue that XRP was a security. XRP Ripple was a security. So that's a big deal, but it's not new, because the SEC has not been arguing the fact that Ripple XRP was a security since around December. But they also didn't put it in their legal brief, which was a big deal. And if you listen to some attorneys, they will say that the judge can still rule Ripple XRP a security, and that would just be a judgment that would be completely out of line. And if you listen to some other attorneys, they would say the judge cannot rule that Ripple XRP is a security because they're not even asking her to rule on the security issue. So there's that little bit of pull and tug right there of whether or not she can or whether or not she can't. If she does, it would be like a disastrous decision and something that she does on her own. So you have that argument. And then you have the argument about, okay, since these legal briefs are in and the SEC is not declaring XRP a security, why isn't exchanges listing XRP again? Why isn't all these exchanges kicking it back in? And this goes back to that whole common enterprise, right? Go back to the buying and selling of XRP as a common enterprise. That is a direct attack on the centralized exchanges. So if the judge rules that Ripple XRP is a common enterprise, then the exchanges are put right in the middle of that, right? Because they're making transactions of buying and selling, which is one of the reasons why you don't see the exchanges hurrying up to go list XRP again after this summary judgment, and the SEC didn't even ask for XRP to be a security. So, okay, got that piece in about why it's not on exchanges yet. So that's my understanding of the two arguments, and that's my understanding of kind of the pull and tug between the two. So where do we go, right? So in October of 2022, each side has the ability to do a rebuttal briefing. So the SEC will rebuttal on what Ripple said, and Ripple will rebuttal on the SEC's argument, and the judge will hear them two sides, like their briefings on them two sides, and then after that, there's another briefing. I'm not sure what they call it, but that's somewhere into this November, December area, and then that's the final briefings right there, and then the judge can make a ruling. So we have these two competing arguments, right? Ripple's not arguing that any of the communication was not had. They're saying, yeah, we agree that communication was done and it was out there. The SEC's not arguing that Ripple XRP is not a security. They're saying, you know, we're not arguing that you're a security. We concede that you're not a security. So what we have is Ripple XRP a common enterprise? And then what is an investment contract? And why is that big for crypto in general, right? It's big for crypto in general because let's say that the judge just says her ruling comes down and just says, I agree with everything that the SEC says. Well, that has a negative impact on crypto because you think about how crypto is marketed. You think about all that stuff, and then that gives the SEC clear guidance and oversight of the crypto market in general. If she comes down and says, I agree with Ripple, then it has a larger impact on the crypto market in a positive direction, because then there's not an investment contract between two people, because in crypto you're not promised anything. You know, in a stock you're really not promised anything. You know what I mean? You kind of are. You get a buyout. You know, another company comes to buy another company and they buy their stock out, and you know that's what the old stockholders get until they transfer over to the new stocks. Just trying to keep that simple. But in crypto in general, there's not an investment contract between the two people. So this could have a long-lasting impact on crypto, which would then have to be legislated, much like we're hearing now, legislation, which would have to be legislated as far as crypto regulations. So we have these competing arguments. I personally believe that Ripple has shown in their summary judgment based on case law that they're right, and the SEC hasn't shown any case law about why they're right. They've shown communication, but there's no case law that says communication equals a common enterprise without an investment contract. So I still think that Ripple's on good standings here. I think that they're in a good, favorable position to win this case. I really do believe that. But yeah, at the same time, you know, this case is going to come down to what the judge puts on a piece of paper. Because if she just says, I agree with the SEC, the crypto market still has no clarity on how they can move forward, right? And if she just comes down and says, I agree with Ripple, then you have to go back to the legislators to write crypto regulations, which we're starting to hear about now, and it's starting to happen. So really this case comes down to, how does the judge look at these cases? And then more importantly, what does the judge put down on paper? What type of clarity does she put down on paper amongst these two arguments? So that's kind of where we are right now in the Ripple case, in my opinion, and this is what I can glean out of all that. And please, if anybody else gleans anything outside of what I'm saying in these legal briefs, or if I missed anything, leave it in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Let's have a conversation back and forth, because we get into these legal things, there's different arguments and different sides. So if you know, anybody has a different take on the legal briefs, leave it down in the comments below, and let's talk about it. But that's kind of what I've got out of it. So with that, I just kind of got to give you guys my take on the legal briefs and what I see and what I've read, and some of the different, you know, people that I've listened to have come to the conclusion of. So with that, guys, you know, I'm gonna keep watching this case and keep trying to figure it out as it moves forward. So I'll bring you guys some XRP updates as I get them, or, you know, different feelings as I get them. But let's keep the conversation going. I'd like to know where everybody's at on that. But hit the like, hit the subscribe button, share this out, and let's talk about XRP, Ripple XRP, and I appreciate your guys' time, appreciate your guys' support. You know, like and share this, and I'll bring you guys some more. Thanks. Have a great day.